Hi friends, welcome to the Anime Book Club podcast. I'm your host, DJ Montague.
And I'm your host, Greg. And here we review anime from classics to brand new stuff, hidden gems, and controversial favorites.
You'll hear all of our hot takes, rants,
and genius observations. So thanks for tuning in, and buckle up because the episode starts now.
By the way, friends, these episodes contain spoilers, so be careful and don't ruin this anime for yourself. You've been warned. Hi, friends. Welcome in to the wonderful, exuberant, beautiful season finale episode and wrap-up of the season of the Anime Book Club podcast. I am your co-host, DJ Montague. I don't have any quips for the beginning because I didn't watch 14 extra anime. Greg did. So Greg has 17 quips prepared, right, Greg?
My name is Greg, citizen of Seiren Island under the pervert law, witch of 1,000, familiar, and one of the 13 heroes killed by the Lord of Dark Beasts, large D, big smart, large D, Jesus, that's me, I'm here. Oh, I guess I should continue because you don't even know what we're talking about.
You're supposed to have so many more.
There we go. But today we are going to be talking about...
No, I meant you need more titles.
Okay.
You need a title from every episode.
Oh, I got you.
Or every show you want.
I'm Shield Hero, that's dumb. I'm Sakamoto Man, that's also dumb. I'll see you at the food court. I'm a teacher with a messed up fucking hand. I'm ugly. My dress-up darling's the best. Watari-kun's dick is gonna collapse and explode. Gachiakuta. I'm Anne Shirley. Sort of the demon hunter. There you go.
That's so good. And welcome, friends, to the Anime Book Club podcast. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. That was perfect, Greg. I could ask for nothing better than that right there. Today, we are going to be doing our seasonal wrap-up. Greg, how's anime? You've watched so much. I've watched very little. Tell me about the anime.
Well, we are going to be discussing, if all of my little quips didn't give it away, The Rising of Shield Hero Season 4, Sakamoto Days Part 2, See You at the Food Court, Hell Teacher, Jigoku Sensei Nube, Uglymug, Epic Fighter, My Dress-Up Darling Seasons 1 and 2, Watari-kun's dick is gonna collapse, Gachiakuta episodes 1 through 12, and Shirley episodes 13 through 26, Witch Watch episodes 13 through 26, Sword of the Demon Hunter episodes 13 through 26, Clevatess, and the fan favorite Nukitashi, the animation.
Greg, how many shows are you watching for the winter season?
17.
Fuck off with that.
Well, 17 God on top damn, of the other 4 that we're going to do for the discussion. Yeah, I'm
21.
It needs to stop somewhere.
Greg, how do you find the time?
I don't.
Greg's like watching it on his fridge and shit.
It's just beaming into my Meta AI glasses.
Yeah.
As I'm sleeping.
Yes. That sounds pretty sick, actually. I'd do that. If I didn't have to take screenshots, I feel like I would be able to cram in at least 6 more anime a week. I know it sounds really dumb.
Although 17, I'm not taking notes for, right? That's the whole point of extra credit, is I'm not putting any extra legwork into it. I'm just actually watching it, and then I'm going to
just enjoying.
Give you my best interpretation of these animes.
Okay. All right. So we have a whole lot to get through and not much time to do it. I say we rip the Band-Aid off and go full bore.
Okaroon, full throttle, immediately. And I can only do it twice, so don't ask me to do it any more times. And I'm going to put a 10-minute time limit on myself for discussion of each of these animes.
Okay, what's my time limit?
0. You can talk for as long as you want.
Oh, okay. So at work the other day, no, I'm just kidding. We're not making this any longer than it has to be. Let us ascend. Greg, begin with Anne Shirley. Let us talk about the wonders that is Anne Shirley, the second half of season 1 that I watched a few episodes of and enjoyed and then stopped.
And Shirley, if we remember, for all of the listeners out there that have been following along with the podcast, in spring 2025, we did the first 12 episodes of Anne Shirley. Davy and Dora have come to live with Marilla at Green Gables, and then Davy is just a little devil, and he basically is a sociopath that tried to kill Dora and threw her down a well and then locked her in a
absolute
stable.
Monster.
We're continuing from that. And from there, it pretty much goes into Anne's time away from Green Gables. So the first 12 episodes was Anne at Green Gables. And now we are moving to her college years, where she is going to Redmond College, and she is moving out, and she has roommates, and she has other classes, and she has goals of being the best teacher that she can be. As we said before, I never read Anne Shirley. I never saw the Anne Shirley movies or the Anne of Green Gables and whatever the other movies that they have, because I think there's like 3 or 4 Anne of Green Gables / Anne Shirley movies. And if I recall correctly, Anne of Green Gables books, I think there were like 6 of them that kind of go through the whole life of Anne. Anne leaves for Redmond. She goes to study. She hangs out at college, and she doesn't dream as much as she used to. Gilbert is also going to college there, and he confessed his love to Anne, and she denied him. And then pretty much from there, he's like, all right, well, I'm done trying because I've confessed like a million times, and we're done. And Anne Shirley didn't want to do it specifically because she didn't want to ruin their current friendship that they had, because she's like, Gilbert's such a good friend. If I fucking marry Gilbert, then the friendship's going to end and it's going to be all different. So I just want everything to stay the same. But then from there, another guy courts Anne, a ebony-locked, horse-riding, rich prince that all he does is send flowers and gifts to Anne all the time. And Anne thinks that this is her Prince Charming. This is the man that she always wanted, the dark bad boy. But then pretty much from there, she realizes that it isn't for her. And then he proposes to Anne, but then Anne denies him. And then now she feels like her whole life at college is ruined. She's messed up everything. She's never going to find a husband. But then she goes back to Green Gables, and Gilbert is sick. He has some sort of disease. I can't remember which one it is out of all of the 1900s diseases.
Super
that they
malaria.
had. And then on Gilbert's hospital bed, and the outlook not looking so good for our hero.
I was going to say, is he dying? The fuck?
He was dying, yeah. Anne realized at that moment in time, as Gilbert lay there dying, that Gilbert was the one for her. But then Gilbert just makes a complete recovery. He's good to go.
Oh, he's like, oh yeah, it was just a cold. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah.
Almost died from the common cold because it's 1908.
Yeah, I mean, after that, they revisit the apple tree that they went and saw in the middle of the forest that he took her to when they were kids. And he's like, yeah, Anne, let's get hitched. And she's like, sounds good, but it's going to be a little bit because I got all these plans. And Gilbert's like, don't worry, I wait for you.
I've waited long enough already.
But that's pretty much how like the series ends, is on that note. And I know that in the books, it does go into more detail. And she becomes like an author or publisher of some sort and some other shit. But yeah, Davy and Dora, they're doing good. Davy's less of a brat. He actually grew up to be like a decent kid, helping out Marilla. He's still kind of like a few screws loose, but he's not like waterboarding his sister in the front yard anymore. So
he's not trying to commit grand larceny at any given time and murder. Okay. I liked Anne Shirley as a show and as an anime to like kind of impart that on a new generation was pretty cool to watch. I enjoyed it. Anne Shirley's cool to me. I don't think it's that popular, so I imagine they're probably not going to do more, but it is like one of those things like, cool. You got to impart a very new style of slice of life into the world.
I feel like anime is like, it's like the book world. There has to be like hundreds of books getting published every day. I'm sure some of those books are amazing, but how many of those amazing books that are hidden within this 100 book a day publish do people like not get to see? And I feel like anime is kind of that same way because everyone knows like the big ones. Everyone knows the Chainsaw Mans, the JJKs, the One Piece, the Naruto, the Bleaches. Everyone knows like the standard curriculum anime class animes that everyone kind of knows of and will watch. But, you know, through doing this podcast, like we've probably watched a lot of anime like other people haven't watched.
Yeah.
But the reason why I think it's good, because it took something that was from like the 1900s book that has already been adapted to a cartoon, that has been adapted to movies. Like the story's already written. They don't have to like tell this story that will stick with you, because the story of Anne Shirley is as long as English history, basically.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to do that. They just had to frame it in a way that a new generation could enjoy it. And I think they did a really good job.
I agree. Greg, just so you know, there are 2,700 book new titles published in the US daily, but worldwide figures are much higher, with an estimated of over 11,000 new books are published daily, or roughly one every 8 seconds.
And to have to sift through all those and find like, hey, which one of these are actually good or not, that's tough. I mean, obviously, if you're like a established author, yours kind of get like pushed to the top, just like any anime studio. Like if Mappa does an anime, or Shaft, or Wit, everyone's just like, oh shit, fucking they're doing a new one, let's pump this, because we know them as really good studios. Madhouse.
Yeah.
I think for the smaller studios, it's really tough to kind of like break into it. So at least I hope that with this show, we can kind of bring a little bit of light to some animes that are actually really good.
What was your score?
Anne Shirley, an overall 9. I think I gave a preliminary score through the 1 through 12 episodes, and I don't recall what that was. But Anne Shirley gets a 9 for me. And my time is up to talk about Anne Shirley, but it's really good. So everyone go check it out. Anne Shirley, 9. That's what I give it. Animation good, story good, characters good. I loved it. It made me feel things. So there you go. There's a 9.
Greg, your final explanation, it made me feel things. We literally earlier were talking today. Greg was like, I don't think I have feelings anymore. I'm just an old man. And then here, the first anime we talk about, Greg's feeling feelings again.
I wouldn't say like it like recharged my, like my life, and I can't wait to get out there and experience things. It's like I'm a broken machine and someone applied like 12-volt power to me, and I kind of twitched a little bit, and then I went back to unmoving.
Yeah. Okay. That all checks out. Onward to Nukitashi.
Yeah,
Greg.
Something that did make me feel things, but not in the way that anyone would expect. Nukitashi. So for anyone that does not know, Nukitashi is an adaptation of a manga. And I believe this was an actual like adult manga.
Oh, this was porn.
High level. It's about a place in the world. It's an island. And this island has what they call the pervert law. And basically that means you just bang everybody. Like you walk around and you can just bang anybody you want. And it's against the law. It's illegal to not be banging. And you can't self-bang. You have to bang other people. And you couldn't same-sex bang. You had to be banging the opposite sex all of the time. And in the synopsis here, it says it grants complete sexual freedom with no taboos or boundaries, which is untrue. They do have boundaries. They save the kids. So kids are good. But there was an episode where this really, really old guy dressed up as a kid so he could try and hang out with kids. And it was really weird, but they arrested him, which is good. This isn't what I was expecting at all. I actually don't know what I was expecting. I was recommended this, and without looking into it in the slightest, I was like, you know what? Holla, sight unseen. Someone told me to watch it. I am going to watch it, and I did. And after the first episode, I was like, holy shit. Like, you know what? Like, I'm pretty good with watching stuff. A lot of stuff doesn't make me uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. This made me uncomfortable to the, like, I considered not watching it anymore. That's like how uncomfortable it was making me. And I don't know how it got the rating that it has, which is just R+ mild nudity. In my mind, this is straight up like RX solid, like no question in my mind. But it somehow skirted the Japanese rating bureau and only got an R+. But pretty much it's about this guy and his sister that got sent to the island, and he doesn't like this rule. He doesn't want to bang everyone, and basically he has to avoid and dodge banging people. And he creates his own organization to try and disband this pervert law. He goes around trying to fight the power of the pervert law and make it not so everyone has to bang everybody else.
This show sounds terrible.
Now, like maybe the first handful of episodes, the story-wise, I was like, I could see this going somewhere. I was like opening my mind and I'm like, okay, like, is this about Japanese low birth rates? And this is like a weird way for them to try to get birth rates up.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is going on in this fucking show right now?
Yeah.
Besides like random people banging. But as I went through, I think the show really got lost in the sauce where I think they had a good thing going in the beginning. Once you get to the point where you're fighting swords with carbon hardened sex toys and your execution move is taking beads and putting them inside of somebody, I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of, you lost me.
Yeah. No.
I feel like they had a really interesting story using this initial shock method. And as like a viewer of, I like harems, right? I like anything that's relationship rich. You would think that this would be like right up my alley.
No.
But no,
I don't.
It's not.
Greg, I don't think it was. This is not the way you explained it. No, absolutely not. This was not it.
I think interspecies reviewers probably did it better.
Okay.
Which is saying something.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I think for some reason, I think I gave this a higher score than interspecies reviewers.
You always have time to fix it, Greg.
But for Nukitashi, I felt like that they had a good thing going. They didn't utilize it to its fullest. I feel like they could have made something out of it because they were also saying that a lot of the people sent to the island were almost like sold to the island. Like they were kind of like unwanted kids, or like if parents had gambling debt, they would sell the kids to the island to like get out of debt and stuff. So they had some like underlying story elements that could potentially be pretty powerful, but they didn't develop them at all. It was just kind of like in passing, they would mention like a crazy reason why this fucking island exists. It's really weird. Really weird. Can I recommend? No. No, I cannot.
No, I would not watch this,
not
Greg,
to anybody.
even if you did recommend it.
Gave it a 4.
What's next, Greg?
Next is Witch Watch, episodes 13 through 26. Witch Watch was a anime that I watched as extra credit last season, and I did the first episodes 1 through 12. So if you remember from our last wrap up, I did talk about this a little bit, and pretty much it hasn't changed from the last review. The high level idea of the story is we have Nico, who's a witch, and she is apparently like a special witch where she is like the witch of 1,000, which is like, I guess, like the queen of witches or something big and crazy. It's important for some reason.
Okay.
But witches can have familiars. And in this world that they live in, you have ogres, you have tengu, you have werewolves. And basically what happens is throughout the story, Nico gets, you have vampires too. So you pretty much get a household of, I don't know how old they are, maybe like 16, 17, of familiars with Nico, the witch, and then they live their lives having fun, silly adventures. Now, they did have the overarching story of someone's trying to like kill Nico or whatever, and the familiars are there to be her bodyguards. But I would consider this kind of more of a, I don't want to say like filler, but a lot of the episodes were just kind of like fun episodes that introduced some characters that made cameos later on. And
I have a question. Morihito, how old is he?
I think all of them are probably around like 16-ish.
Okay. It says she's a young witch and her childhood friend is Morihito, right?
Yep.
So it just said in ancient times witches married their familiars and whatnot. So I was just like, oh, she like 1,000 and he's like 16 and now it's all crazy? Because I really hope not. They
were childhood friends, but then Nico had to go back to like Witchland for some training and stuff to control her powers because she was really bad at controlling them, and she's kind of like an airhead a little bit. And then Morihito is like the stoic, strong guy that has little emotion unless it's about collector's denim and some other shit that they talked about. There is a love interest between Nico and Morihito, but Morihito's resolve to duty and some other stuff that they revealed is kind of preventing them from following the path of the love interest. But they do address it, and they do insinuate that in the future, things will work out.
Okay.
It's fun. I would say this is more comedy than anything. That's just kind of like fun stories kids having. I enjoyed it. It was funny. Animation, really good. The characters are all developed. And yeah, they do have pop culture references in there and silly things like bringing new fads back to life, like marbles.
They're going to do some pogs.
Yeah, basically. But it wasn't something that like really held my attention because the story was so loose. Like, I think they had a couple episodes where they were really addressing the assassination attempts of Nico and the warlocks trying to capture her and take her power and that sort of stuff. But yeah, overall, it's just like a funny, cute fantasy small rom-com that if you're into just straight up comedy and don't want to think too hard, then this is something you should check out.
What was your rating, Greg?
I gave it a 7. It was fun enough.
Okay.
Could I recommend it? Maybe not to like beginning anime watchers, maybe more experienced anime watchers that are just looking for something fun, maybe almost like a palate cleanser of some sort.
Okay. I don't think this would be up my alley.
No, I don't think so
But
either.
yeah, I don't think I would ever watch Nukitashi either.
Well,
If
maybe
it's any consolation.
you will watch this next one, and we are going to move to Clevatess. So Clevatess is a fantasy anime. Basically, the standard, you have the heroes that are fighting the dark beasts. And the reason why they're fighting the dark beasts is because the humans basically live in like a small part of the world. And then the other parts of the world they're like unexplored, inhabitable, because each part is ruled by a different horde of the dark beasts.
Mm-hmm.
Exploration is what they say. They are claiming why they are killing these dark beasts and trying to push forward. I can't remember the time frame, but basically they collect heroes. And in the very first episode here, they have 13 heroes, and then they are venturing into the realm of Clevatess, who is one of the dark beasts. And they have special weapons, and they're all super cool and strong and stuff.
They get their asses beat?
Yeah, straight up. So they make it to Clevatess, and Clevatess is like, what the hell are you doing here? And they're like, time to die, beast. And then he just fucks them, like all of them. They're all dead. And the girl, who is one of the 13 heroes, Alicia, she also dies. And then Clevatess is like, dude, you guys came. This is our town, scrub. And then he flew over to
beat it.
the neighboring nation. I think it was Haydn. And he just fucked it. He just flew in and he's like, fuck your nation. And then just blows it up. But then as he's leaving, a dying individual is like, take this baby, Clevatess. And Clevatess is like, why the hell would I do that? I'm just a dark beast and I hate everything. Why would I ever take this human child, or not human child, this Haydn child? And I've killed thousands of kids and people. Why is this one any different? And then basically they're like, kids don't decide to enter the world. We bring them in. And if you raise this kid, you will see like what, I guess humanity has to offer or whatever.
Okay.
And in Clevatess's moment of weakness, he's like, sure, I'll take this kid. So then he takes the kid and he's like, what do I do with this thing? And then he goes back to his realm and then he resurrects Alicia because he's like, kids need food. All right, I'll resurrect this girl and then she can be the milkmaid for this kid. And then he does. And she's like, I can't make milk yet, man. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, you humans are so weird and crazy. So then now basically what happens is Clevatess comes down from the mountain and he is just on his own journey of trying to figure out what humanity is all about. And that's the main premise. Now they're just kind of adventuring and he is seeing what humanity, like, is humanity worth letting live?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And as he's doing that, there's like more and more story plot points that are brought up. And now it seems like the other lords of dark beasts are also playing with humanity and doing their own weird things. I liked it because of the animation. To me, it was like a throwback to classic anime animation for the fantasy genre. So think like Record of Lodoss War. It wasn't necessarily like clean. It was a little more like dirty, a little more old school. So I really appreciated the animation style of Clevatess. Now, the story and I think a little bit of the character development didn't sit as well with me.
Okay.
They introduce new story points and new mystery into the story where things may not be as they seem, and why were humans trying to kill dark beasts anyway, and like what was giving them the power to
Greg, why were
kill
humans
dark
trying to
beasts.
kill dark beasts?
Well, they said that they wanted to expand their horizons, humanity's horizons.
Okay. And
But then the forge that's in Haydn that is used to make the special weapons that can kill dark beasts, Clevatess goes and just blows it up. But then upon blowing it up, he realizes that it's something else pulling the strings in the background. And that's kind of like where the story ends a little bit, is because Clevatess has this idea like, are we all just being puppeted now? The humans are trying to attack me and then I'm keeping my land, but then now is something kind of making us act the way that we're acting. And then he kind of like gives up on life a little bit and just like, I'm just going to go back to my throne and die.
Is there going to be a season 2?
It is confirmed, apparently.
Okay.
I mean, it is a manga, so I'm sure you can read the manga and get up to speed, but it was fine. I mean, I think it fit that fantasy genre pretty well. It was interesting enough. I think you might like it. I don't know if you would like it as much as you think you might like it, but I don't think you would hate it.
I don't think I would hate it, but I definitely like it's definitely got Goblin Slayer energy about it.
It's got a vibe. Is that what kids say?
Yeah, that's what the kids say.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
got
yeah.
a vibe 6-7.
I gave it a 6.
Okay. Would you watch season 2?
I would watch season 2. It's
Okay.
interesting enough, and the animation style is enough for me to go into it. I would watch Nukitashi season 2.
Oh God.
And that's a trap that I put myself in. These animes come out, and then I'm like, okay, I'm done with it. Woo! But then if season 2 comes out, I have to watch it because I watched the other one. I'm just exponentially making work harder for myself, and I'm never going to be able to stop.
I see. That's a very Greg situation. Okay, what's next, Greg?
The Rising of Shield Hero Season 4. Yes, I did watch the 3 previous seasons of The Rising of Shield Hero. And The Rising of Shield Hero, it gives me like Eminence and Shadow style vibes where like you have the hero, but like, is he a hero? And the whole point of it is like these 4 kids got isekai'd into this world of Rising of Shield Hero. You have the bow, you have the sword, you have the spear, and you have the shield. And 3 out of the 4, which is not the shield, everyone is like, those heroes are sick, high five, fucking let's go jerk them off. But everyone's
Right.
shield hero, what a fucking loser. Oh man, this guy fucking sucks. So right out of the gate, the shield hero gets shit on. And basically everyone is just conning him and no one has any respect for him. It actually kind of reminds me a little bit of Redo a Healer. And this is season 1 briefing for anyone that hasn't seen Shield Hero. And he kind of starts off his journey by like fucking buying slaves. And then now the slaves become his party. And then the slaves are now like, you're a really good master. We love you. Please put that fucking slave crest all over my body.
Okay.
Now, as we fast forward, Shield Hero proves himself. Everyone's like, okay, this guy isn't a piece of shit. He's actually like doing good stuff. So now we go through the other seasons. Basically, he's like strong. The other Cardinal heroes fucking suck. Then they have to fight this world-ending event called the Phoenix. And the only way they can beat it is if the Cardinal heroes all band together and fight it as one. Originally, they were never going to be able to do that because they shunned the Shield Hero, but now he's rebuilt relationships, and now basically the sword, the bow, and the Shield Hero are on the same page. But then the spear guy is literally just going crazy because he wants to bang a girl that can change into a bird, and he just randomly kills innocent people, and it's really weird. Season 4, they go to the beast land, and then you have character development because he has some beast kin friends, and they're like, fucking white tigers got shit on, and then this lion guy is like, oh yeah, I killed your dad, and then they fight, and then they defeat him. And then they go to Japan, and then there's some cherry blossom trees. They fight, and then it's over.
Okay.
That's Shield Hero Season 4. The problem with Shield Hero for me is I did talk to people about this too, because I was like, am I missing something here? Like in terms of the manga or like the light novel? And from the people I talked to, they said that it's doing a good job adapting and it's telling the story. And I'm like, dude, I feel like Shield Hero, like it's moving so fast, but in my opinion, it's not making any like useful or impactful headway in terms of story. I feel like this arc in particular, season 4, there was a lot of time skips, a lot of like exposition on shit that happened, and they didn't animate it. It was just kind of like a quick explanation of what's going on so they can kind of jump forward in the story. And I don't know what they're fucking doing, really. Like, I understand what's going on in the world. I understand like the story points that they've like laid out for me, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, what are we doing here, guys? You're supposed to be fighting the Phoenix, but then the Shield Hero has his own little town that has a bunch of orphans in it. Yeah, we have to go to Japan, basically, so Raftalia can become the emperor because her parents were there and the nation got fucked, so we have to help it.
There are 22 light novels. There's so much.
The problem with isekais for me is the idea that no one wants to go home. There's zero focus on it, is the problem.
Yeah.
Like, they kind of mention it, but this isn't just Shield Hero, by the way. This is all isekais. Like, no one is interested in fucking going back. And it's not even the fact that they want to go back. It's more of the idea that they're not even curious of the potential or like why they even got there. There's no thought about the reasoning. It's just, I'm here now. I guess this is my new life. They're not, why is this my new life? How did this happen? Who did this? What's going on? It's like, oh, I'm a hero and I have levels now and I can fucking raise my strength without doing push-ups. Like, sick. That sounds great. I'm not even going to worry about going back ever again. The only one that I can think of off the top of my head is Jobless Reincarnation, where obviously Rudy doesn't want to go back, but the other dark-haired girl that got isekai does want to go back. So they do introduce the idea of scribing circles or whatever to be able to get back to real life.
So, real quick, there's 22 light novels apparently, but the anime is going to be ahead of the manga. I don't know how that works anymore, but apparently it's there.
Yeah, I also heard that the author of the manga, I guess, is having some serious like writer's block. I think it's been paused.
Hiatus.
Yeah, I think maybe just story-wise, they kind of just painted themselves in a corner and they're like, how the hell do I get out of here? I personally don't like Shield Hero. I think season 1 was probably the strongest season of Shield Hero. And even then, I think if you want to watch other isekais, maybe Jobless.
I think Jobless is solid. What was your score, Greg?
Rising of Shield Hero season 4 gets a 4.
Damn. Okay. What's next?
Sakamoto Days Part 2. I thought season 1 was interesting. It felt kind of like goofy comedy time, but also with a bunch of assassins and killers. And in the beginning scene, you have Sakamoto like going ham squad, doing backflips, catching bullets with chopsticks, shooting people in the head and shit. And it was pretty sick. Sakamoto left the organization. He's basically like retired. He has a family now. He has a kid. He has a wife. And they have just a little supermarket. And now Sakamoto is being hunted because once you're in the family, you don't leave the family until you're dead.
Of course. Them's the rules.
They introduce a bunch of characters that are trying to assassinate Sakamoto. You have other characters that join up with Sakamoto and they all now work for him for like $8 an hour at his convenience store. I think it's fun enough. I don't have any fear that Sakamoto is going to die. I don't have any fear that Sakamoto's family is going to get hurt. I have no fear that any of the other characters that have joined Sakamoto's little clan are ever going to die. Like, there's almost like no fear. And for a show that's literally about killing people, I'm not really invested in terms of like what really happens with the characters. But season 2 picks up where season 1 left off, and now they need to find out more information on this group of people that are killing hitmen. And then they figure out the best way to do that is by rejoining the assassin college.
They have a college?
Yeah. You just go to college for
I wonder what the
assassins.
curriculum is. Like, this is the sneak day. We're all going to learn how to sneak well. I have so many questions, but
Sakamoto's old assassin crew comes out of the woodwork and they're looking into it too. And then now they're going to all enroll into assassin college so they can find more information. The majority of the season is them on an airplane flying to the assassin college and then fighting. And then the plane crashes and then Now they're doing more fighting. Other assassins die, but they're a bunch of nobodies, so nobody cares. And then they introduce more characters, and then they make it to college, and that's pretty much it.
Okay.
So now, like, animation-wise, action-wise, to me, it's like another run-of-the-mill shonen. Like, I thought it was going to be a little different because Sakamoto's old, and it was going to have more, like, an older feel to it. But to me, I don't think the dynamic works very well because nobody's dying, but everyone's a hitman.
Okay.
And like no one's gone after like Sakamoto's family yet. They did it at the end of season 2. And of course they got thwarted and nothing happened and his kid's fine and his wife is fine and nothing bad's ever going to happen. I'm just kind of lost, I guess, in terms of the story and
honestly,
what's happening.
It really seems One Punch Man-esque.
It is.
You know, like that this kid Shin is supposed to be the main character and Sakamoto is just like there.
I mean, Sakamoto is
awesome stuff.
Main character still. I mean, Shin and Lu, they all kind of like hang out together and are like doing stuff together. And I guess they're all kind of like the main characters, really, because they more or less hang out as like a group. But I think they're introducing too many story elements because Shin wants to get stronger because he looks up to Sakamoto. Sakamoto just wants to be left alone and live his life with his convenience store.
Yeah.
Lu was part of the triad and now she's just kind of hanging out. And then you have the other top hitman. I can't remember what their group is called. And you introduce them and they're cool characters. They have cool character designs. They have cool weapons. They all have their own little special power. And then they do have battles. It's like the 9D chess, like fucking who can outsmart someone else. It has good parts, but I guess just as a whole for a story, I feel like it falls flat.
Okay.
Sakamoto, fun enough, but it got a 5. So it's better than Shield Hero.
Ooh, that's tough. There are some scenes I'm seeing here that look like Solo Camping for 2, like some imagery, like they just took a picture of a real rock and then did like that weird editing that Solo Camping did.
Season 1, definitely. I felt had some animation issues. I felt like first half of it was good, but then the animation like slowly got shittier and I don't know exactly what happened. Season 2, I felt like the animation got better again, but they do still have some of those time or cost cutting measures of doing animation where you can tell you could have animated it, but you didn't.
Very similar to like what One Punch Man's doing. I heard that it's not going very well.
It's probably better than One Punch Man.
Damn. Okay.
One Punch Man's like actually, it's not in a good spot.
Ooh. Okay. So 5 for Sakamoto
5
Days.
For Sakamoto Days.
Greg hates shonen, dude. It's just it's the world we live in, guys.
No, I don't.
It's
I don't
fine,
hate
Greg. It's okay.
No,
it's okay. Greg's hatred for shonen is everlasting and undying. Expect the smoke at all times. What's next, Greg?
Next one is See You at the Food Court.
Is this the sequel to See You at the Ballpark?
They're both good, but no, it's not. It is a slice of life, though. This was a 6-episode anime, so very short. See You at the Food Court is a slice of life anime, and basically it follows these two girls right here, Wada and Yamato, and they basically meet every day at the food court and just talk about everyday general stuff that they experience in life. I think the first episode was about Wada rolling for SSR level gachas.
It has invaded everything that we are and everything that we will be as a society. Gacha pulling is here forever, and I kind of hate it.
I do not indulge. I'm not a gacha guy. I never have been. I don't think I've played a gacha game once.
Yeah, you have. You played Genshin. You played Wuthering Waves.
I have not played either of those.
You said you played Wuthering Waves.
No, I said I saw you guys play Wuthering Waves. I said I thought about playing it, but
okay,
I have not played. I downloaded Girls Frontline, and then I got like 2 minutes in, and then I deleted it.
Okay, you have to have played a gacha. There's so many, Greg.
Name more.
Overwatch.
Oh, would you consider that a gacha?
Back then, well, it wasn't a gacha, but it had gacha mechanics.
Yeah. It wasn't like I'm going to roll like an SSR level champion to play in Overwatch and then I'm OP. Like it was just like skins and shit.
Yes, but that is like the kind of new wave of what gacha pulling is. The gacha mechanic is not... Okay, whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay. We're onward to the anime. Okay.
See you at the food court. Girls, talking, everyday things, SSR, gacha, mechanics, boyfriends, the different words to say boobs in Japanese. They just meet at the food court. They go and get food, get drinks, and they hang out, talk about friendship, talk about life, talk about experiences. And it was cute. And I think 6 episodes really fits it. I don't think that they needed to go to 12 episodes. This might have been a candidate for the 12-minute episodes. So they could have done like 12 episode half length versus half the amount of episodes full length. I think maybe if I was that age again, in that kind of high school age era in Japan, it would hit a little bit harder. I feel like it would be a little bit more nostalgic. But for me, I never went to the food court. I never would. I could never afford it. I could never get there when I was a kid. Would I recommend it? Sure. It's good. It's cute. Slice of life. If you like slice of life, watch that. But I gave it a 6. Oh, I forgot my segue. It was going to be something like the girls go to the food court and then they get their meals and go to the kiosk that sells gamer subs. You can also go to the kiosk at gamersups.gg and use promo code DJ Montague at checkout to get 10% off of your limited edition flavor of gamer subs. Just get a flavor. They're all good and tasty. Caffeinated, non-caffeinated. They have them in cans now, so if you want something carbonated, you can get a 6-pack of cans and drink some gamer subs and save 10% off. It sure is lonely over here by myself. Maybe if I use promo code DJ Montague, I can get 10% more of DJ Montague's time where he can spend with me and talk about anime. All right, Chair-sama, let's keep this show on the road because we still have 7 animes to go through. We will move on to Kijin Gentosho, Sword of the Demon Hunter. This is the back half, episodes 13 through 26 of this anime, and I did review the first 1 through 12 last season, and I thought it was okay. I thought it was fine. I dispelled the rumor that it's like Demon Slayer. I don't think it's like Demon Slayer at all. I think this is its own entity, its own monster, if you will, and I don't think it would be fair to compare it to Demon Slayer. It's weird because this, to me, is kind of like a slice of life because you have Jinta, our boy, going around trying to find information on his sister who turned full demon mode and killed the love of his life. And now he's just kind of existing and moving forward as a Ronin, a demon slayer for hire, while going to a soba shop and getting information. And he helps the people around him. After he does that for the majority of the episodes, he decides to help out his friends because apparently around this time we have the feudal Japan issues going on where the West is coming and the Western influence is starting to take over, and you have the purists, which don't want any Western influences, versus the other side that think that they should embrace the Western influences. And then one of his longtime friends that he's been hanging out with gets a hit on him from a guy that uses demons as soldiers. So then now he has to fight this demon, and the only way that he can beat him is by turning into a demon himself and use his various collected demon powers. But in doing so, he is exposed, and everyone is like, oh shit, Jinta is a demon all along. And then he struggles with what he's doing in his life, what he's trying to achieve. And his adopted daughter is like, no, Dad, you're the best demon dad that I know. And then he's like, yeah, you know what? You're right. I mean, I am a good demon dad. And then he moves from where he's at to a new location and he opens his own soba shop. And then pretty much from there, he just continues. He continues down the road to find information about his sister. There wasn't too much closure at the end of it. He just continues down his path. It does do the few flash forwards because this is basically like a story talking about the past because he's already living in the future, still alive as an undying demon, masquerading as a high school kid and hanging out. Animation was mediocre. Felt like it was okay. The fight scene some of them were good. Some of them were questionable. I think it does fit the historical theme that it has listed on my anime list. And I think it's fine. I don't think it's really that violent. I don't think it's that profane. I think it's just like Ronin slice of life. That's kind of how I consider it.
When we talked about this before, it sounded like I'd enjoy it, but also Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think you would like the first handful of episodes,
Mm-hmm.
but after that, I think you would get pretty bored.
Okay, interesting.
Give it a 6.
Yeah, I just don't see. Is there a season 2 of it?
I didn't see an announcement for it.
First of all, on YouTube, there are like the first 12 episodes you could just watch. That leads me to believe that the people that are running it don't really care that people are just throwing it up there for everybody to watch for free.
I'm pretty confident this is adapted from like a light novel, and I think there's more information in like the light novel that if you read that and then watched the anime, you would get a lot more out of it. The story was like a little bit slow, and maybe that's the point of it.
Greg, we've kind of talked about this a little bit, where there's a saying, there are some years where nothing happens, and there are some days where years happen. When you look at the life of someone, if I were to do an autobiography, I would not be like, yeah, and then I played video games for 100 days straight every day and streamed on the internet. Like, that part would probably get left out. It feels like this show doesn't have that many interesting things to talk about that happen.
And that's why I kind of call it like a Ronin slice of life. There is fighting. He does fight demons. He does collect some powers. They do have leads. But then some episodes, it's like they go on a side quest. And it doesn't necessarily like push the story forward, but it's not necessarily bad because it develops the characters that are there. And because I gave it a 6, I don't want it to be viewed as bad. It's just a different style. It's a slower moving style. I would say this is more like traditional Japanese film style of movement, where there's lots of, like atmospheric stuff, focusing on scenery, focusing on flowers. Some scenes like focusing on the flowers like long enough for you to wonder, why are we focusing on these flowers? And just like understanding the world around you using nature and that sort of thing. And I think some people would argue like Frieren was slow moving, but I think Frieren moves faster than this.
Okay. But Frieren's like insane and tells a great story behind its slow moving pace. If you sift through it, you get to enjoy some really cool characters and history of character development.
If you look at Frieren, I think the reason why it's so impactful is because the first episode, the hero dies of old age. And Frieren is there like, I live for thousands of years and I don't even understand the people that I'm around. And now it's going on like a life journey of figuring out what is life? Like, why do we enjoy life and what makes life what it is? Versus this, where it's the guy is like, my sister lopped off the dome with a lady I loved, but I couldn't marry her anyway because I was a sentinel, so I guess I'll just go for revenge. And then, he does slowly realize that revenge isn't the end-all be-all, and normally revenge always ends in both sides losing. So, I mean, you do have that, but I think that's why Frieren's a stronger contender.
Okay.
We're going to move on to Hell Teacher Nube, Jigoku Sensei Nube. I believe is a remake. This was a TV show or like an OVA or something like way back in the day, like 97 or something like that. I would best describe this as a violent Scooby-Doo.
Okay.
So you basically have Nube, who is a teacher, and he has a demon hand. No one knows why he has it, but he does. And he's also poor. He's really bad with the ladies. His main goal is just to keep his students safe. And pretty much you just have Scooby-Doo style episodes where each episode a student does something dumb, gets possessed by a spirit, or a spirit attacks the students, and then he comes and saves them, and then you have some weird life lesson at the end.
What did you just say, Greg? What the fuck is this show?
It's weird. It's like a kid's show, but it's not. Because like people are dying and there's like horror elements and stuff. But at the same time, like half of the episode is just like kids hanging out at school. And they're not like high school kids. I think these are like elementary school kids or whatever.
You're explaining the movie The Faculty.
This was another kind of like short story style anime where each episode something happened, but it didn't really carry over to the other episodes in the story. The first 2 episodes was like one of his students got like some worm parasite in him that made him paranoid, and then Nube took it out of him, and then some weird fox demon dude that's also a teacher at the school wanted to take his skull because if he did, then he would be able to like ascend or something. And then they fight.
I mean,
There was an episode, there was a kid that was really good with robotics and he found an iPad, but it was a cursed iPad.
oh, okay.
They would give him designs of robot shit to make and he would make it, but then he would do like really weird shit and then it killed a rabbit. I think they had a swap meet and there was a really rich kid and he was just like, oh yeah, everyone just take these PS5s. Like, this is the old version, like fucking gross. Like, I don't need this shit. But then it was a whole moral of the story that you shouldn't take items for granted and don't just throw stuff away because you don't want it or something. This is the anime, dude. I'm telling you, like this is like, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
And
right.
any classic thing that you can think of, like when you were in elementary school, like spirits come and then Nube saves the kids, and that's the story.
And Nube saves the kids.
Yeah. Next episode, spirit comes, Nube saves the kids.
Okay, so very much just the episodic, like, yeah. Okay, yeah, I get the Scooby-Doo. Okay. All right. I mean,
because Scooby-Doo, I don't even know what the overarching story of Scooby-Doo was. It was just like mystery, and then fucking it's old man farmer,
yeah.
and then next episode mystery. It's like, they weren't in an isekai, and every time they solve a mystery, then it gets them one step closer to going home. It's just like, no, they just drive around in a fucking bus.
Yeah, smoke a bunch of weed.
That's Hell Teacher Nube.
Okay. All right. What was the score, Greg?
Hell Teacher Nube gets a 5. Do I recommend it? No. Unless you like Scooby-Doo, then watch it. But if you don't like Scooby-Doo, then don't worry about it. Next on the list is Uglymug Epic Fighter. I went into this thinking this was going to be super bad. Technically, this is an isekai as well. And the whole premise is that in real life, if you turn to the west at like 12:01 a.m. and say some words, then you'll get an email that asks you if you want to get isekai'd, and then if you hit yes, then you get isekai'd.
Okay, what's the actual, like, just for a friend? How do you do it? It's specifically...
You'll have to watch the anime, but I think you have to like turn clockwise and turn counterclockwise, take your pants off, face your stuff to the heavens, and then get an email. And then start an OnlyFans. All right, easy. I think.
Face your stuff to the heavens and then start an OnlyFans. Great. That's how you get isekai'd.
But then once you get the email, you click yes, I want to get isekai'd, and then you have to create your character sheet and you have to allot stats. The main character in the anime, he was Ugly Man. He had an ugly face and everyone thought he was ugly. But he was a really good salesman, even though he was ugly. He got framed for being a Chikon on a train or something like that. And he went to court and he just took the guilty plea because it's easier. But now since he took the guilty plea, he couldn't get another job because no one would hire him because he was a sex offender, even though he really wasn't. So he isekais because now his life is messed up because of being framed as a pervert. And then he jokingly put in his character sheet that his looks are like negative 255. If a woman touches him, he loses 50% of his max health. And some other things in regards to looking ugly and not being attracted to women.
Okay.
He hits go and he gets isekai'd, but because he put so much negative shit in his stat sheet, he basically got 1 billion points to a lot to his stats. So he gets there, and there's 3 other people with him, and they all isekai'd same way and become adventurers, kind of standard isekai stuff, find the Adventurers Guild, become an adventurer, do quests. But because they were brand new, they basically got conned. But because he's basically a god, he knew he was getting conned, so he just went along with it. And after going through, he was just like, I'm going to ditch my party members. I'm just going to go solo, and I'm just going to live my life, do whatever I want. But then he gets attached to them and is like, hey, you know what? Everyone's not so bad. Let's just continue going on together. So then they obviously do shit. Higher overarching story is... people from the real world get isekai'd here. So It ends up turning out that his party members and other people that got isekai'd, he knew in the real world. And then they are basically saying in the real world, he positively influenced them and they all thought he was like a great guy. But they don't know that he is that guy. And we find out that he gets the title of like Riz God or something like that. But then there's other gods that are in the world as well, as we find out. Then you find out that your little secret stat sheet that you filled out, if you write in that you can't do like one of the three main things humans need to survive. So one of them being is like opposite sex interaction, which is why he got the Almighty God title. The other god that they found wrote off sleep, so they cannot sleep at all. And they got the god title. And then they are like kind of like the villain in the story. And again, this is kind of like a Scooby-Doo thing. They go around, they kind of break up a gambling slave ring. They start a company where it helps people find jobs. And then, yeah, they kind of are social workers a bit, and they help people in the isekai world deal with their negative attributes that they assigned to themselves in their stat sheet, not knowing what it was going to do when they got here. My explanation doesn't sound that positive, I guess, but I went in with like super low expectations, but I came out of it enjoying it a little bit. I thought that their kind of heel turn to the characters relating back to real life and explaining what this guy did for them in real life, I thought was like a really nice touch, and I didn't see it coming. I think it has like good life lesson stuff in it. And I could have done without like the Almighty God fighting and the, you know, basically any fighting in general. I probably could have like gone without it. And I would say it's like a comedy because like the other guy, Seiji, he has written in his thing like, you know, he wants to defend his friends, and then he's the ultimate justice warrior against evil, and then he has an alter ego which is like an angel that punches evil and shit. Like it has a bunch of silly shit, kind of like if you were playing D&D with your friends and everyone wrote like wacky ass character profiles or whatever. And I thought it was fun enough, and how they tied real life back into the isekai world won some points with me. I didn't think it was bad. I probably could recommend this to some people, but I really didn't think it was that bad. I thought it was actually pretty good, and I gave it a 6.
Okay, that's surprising. It seems like it could be fun to check out and just like a weekend watch, you know, not like a, oh, this is going to be the next One Piece. It's not trying to be.
Exactly. And I would say this is probably like a decent palate cleanser. You can just kind of sit back and enjoy and not think too hard about.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
Let us move to My Dress Up Darling Season 1.
Oh boy.
My Dress Up Darling Season 1 is about a boy. That boy is named Gojo. And Gojo is a tall, handsome young man in high school. And he lives with his grandfather, and they have a store that paints.
Dude, why does nobody have parents?
I don't know, man. The reason why you don't have parents in a story is because it's just fucking easy. Like, you don't have to worry about the kids staying out late or doing whatever because the parents, like, fucking, when I was a kid, my dad's like, be home at 9. Not even that. 9's even too late. My dad's like, fucking, be home at 6. And I'm like, all right, Dad, you got it. He's like, if you're going to be any later than that, fucking call me and let me know you're going to be late. Communicate. And I was like, don't worry, Dad, I promise. I didn't call my dad. I just stayed out later, and I got home, and then I got fucking beat, right? Like, that's not much of a fucking story, right?
I got fucking beat. I got the shit beaten out of me repeatedly.
Yeah, it's easy
for 45 minutes
to just be like, oh yeah, you know, fucking no parents, so kids can do whatever they want.
I guess. I mean, yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, it's about Gojo, high school kid. He works with his grandpa painting the little dolls or whatever. So he's like an artist of some sort. And he loves those dolls. He thinks they're the greatest thing ever. He thinks that the artistry and the work you put into them, like, make them come alive. He has a passion for it. But he's worried that people will think it's weird. So he's embarrassed of it. He has lower self-esteem when it comes to being himself and standing out. But then now you have Marin, who is the most popular girl in school. She's hot. She's extroverted. She's just everything that a boy Gojo's age would want. But it turns out that she does cosplay. And Gojo was in the sewing room sewing some shit. And she rolls in and she's like, oh, you know how to use a sewing machine? And he's like, fuck yeah, I know how to use a sewing machine. I'm a sewing machine motherfucking wizard. And she's like, oh man, I don't know how to sew. I'm trying to make a costume. Look at my costume. Oh, it's trash. And he's like, don't worry, girl. I got you. And then that's how their relationship basically starts. And then pretty much from there, he's just her tailor. She's like, I want to do cosplay. He's like, don't worry, girl. I got you. And then he fucking makes her clothes and stuff. And this is him starting to come out of his shell. She's obviously helping him come out of his shell. And he is enjoying the interaction because he basically gets to work on his passion, which is like the dolls, but in kind of like a bigger real life way and making her costumes and stuff. And the reason why I like this anime, yeah, I guess I can make a segue, right? Okay, yeah, Gojo, he's really good at sewing, and he sewed me a t-shirt from itaesthetics.com. This one that I have here that I'm not wearing because it's so hot. But here we go. There's the sweater. And this is the one that Gojo made
It's covering
me.
the thing.
That's fine. Fucking
Greg, you got to hold it up.
No,
again.
you fucking hold up these nuts. And then Gojo made me this sweater. And then he sold it to IT Aesthetics, who sold it to me. And then I saved 10% off using promo code TABC10 at checkout. Go visit IT Aesthetics, where you can actually get my Dress Up Darling shirts or the shirt that I have that Gojo made me, that he sold to IT Aesthetics, that they sold to me. Go check it out. TABC10.
So this show seems kind of adorable. You said a million times how much you've loved this show.
I love this
over
show.
the course of the Anime Book Club. Oh, they have it on IT. Holy shit, chill, bro. I shooketh by the fucking outfit.
The ones in the bikini are accurate to the show because as a tailor, you need to take measurements, and you cannot take measurements if someone is clothed. So she wore a bikini in the episode so he could take measurements.
Okay. They eventually just fall in love with each other, right?
And like that's why I like it so much, because this story is basically about these two people, and it's not diluted at all. It's just they're figuring out relationships, figuring out like what love is, and hanging out with this person and what it means and what are we doing and how do we build this relationship, how do we go a little bit farther. If you take a show like The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity, to me that's similar, and My Dress Up Darling is better than that show in my eyes, because The Fragrant Flower has artificial tension built in because they are from rivaling schools. They're like, oh, we can't be seen together because you go to this school and my school hates your school and your school hates my school.
Romeo and Juliet, got it. Yep.
It has that element of it, but then it doesn't even really fucking matter after, like, I don't know, maybe the second fucking episode of that anime. And I feel like there is some other parts in Fragrant Flower where they kind of are throwing wrenches into the relationship, where the girl's best friend is like, oh, you can't date that guy because he's part of that other school, and then you're going to ruin your future because you're going to hang out with him and it's going to look really bad, and I have really low self-esteem and I need you as a friend, and if you hang out with him then you won't hang out with me, and I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. You're adding all of these other elements into the story when it's really just a story about these two people trying to have a relationship. But to me, it just took away from the overall relationship building of the other characters. So My Dress Up Darling doesn't have that. And that's why I think it's better, because now you get this like distilled relationship building between these two characters, and the only roadblocks that they have are their own internal struggles of how to move the relationship forward.
Okay.
Now, in this one, season 1, I will say it was a little more like Goon, a little more coom. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Because at the time, I think when they were first developing their relationship, it was like a little more relaxed. I think she was going into it like, oh, hey, this guy makes cool stuff. He's a cool dude. And he goes into it like, I really want to show people what I'm made of. I can do this stuff. I'm good at it. Build self-confidence sort of thing. And they're kind of feeding off of each other. In the first season, Gojo totally jerked off, dude. Like twice. There was jerking off. He had to leave to go jerk off. It was implied. He didn't they didn't say like Gojo's jerking off, be back in 5 minutes. It was implied that he's like, oh, she's like super hot. I'm literally taking measurements of this girl in a bikini. I've never interacted with girls before, and she's so nonchalant about her body. I don't know what to do with my dick wiggle.
Okay.
It was tasteful enough. Like if you put your shoes in that age of boy, and then if you insert that age of boy in that situation, I feel like that is a realistic thing that probably would have happened. He didn't like jerk off in front of her.
Yeah, no, he didn't Louis C.K. the situation. I get it.
But as they go forward, right, she does her first cosplay. He made the costume for her. It was a fucking hit. She loved it. And then, they just continued to build that relationship.
Was it the latex outfit?
No, it was her first outfit was the the black I can't remember the character's name she was cosplaying.
The maid?
Yeah, it was like the kind of black maid looking one.
Okay. From
there, then they continued doing more cosplay. She's like, oh, I want to cosplay more. Like, this is fucking sick. Here's other characters that I want to cosplay. And then, it was interesting because they went through the details of cosplay and like what is needed. They went to different craft stores and was like, hey, you could use this tape to achieve this effect. If you're trying to do this, then use this. And they actually had good tips, I think, if you were a cosplayer, that you could use and actually apply to cosplay in real life. But season 1, their relationship gets a little bit deeper, and now they're going to like venues to try and do photo shoots now. They have the costume down, so now it's like, let's get the venue down. And for one of the cosplays, they end up at like a love hotel, but it was supposed to be like a normal hotel, but then she booked it because it was so cheap, and then she didn't know, and she's kind of a little bit caution to the wind, like free spirit sort of thing. She's like, oh well, I booked it, we might as well do it anyway. So then they go there, and then they do like the photo shoot, and they get into a precarious position, and then they have to be quiet because they could hear like people banging in like the other room and stuff, and it's super awkward because they're like high school kids and stuff. And then it has like a real turning point in I think their feelings and relationship of each other in that scene in particular. You have to see it. I don't think I'm doing a good job explaining it.
Okay, yeah, yeah, okay.
For season 1, like I felt like it was really good. Like for me, someone that loves relationship building and seeing relationships blossom without like artificial hurdles that they have to overcome, I thought it was really good. Gojo came out of his shell, and he can't come out of his shell just all of a sudden. I have a realization that I'm going to come out of my shell. People saw his handiwork. People saw the costumes and were like, damn, dude, like you're actually fucking good. This stuff is actually really good. And, he built the confidence by applying his skills that he thought that people would laugh at him for. And, they didn't overdo it. It wasn't like super sappy. It wasn't like out of control. It was very natural, which is why I thought My Dress Up Darling season 1 was so good, because of how natural everything was and how they built the relationships. So for season 1, I gave it an 8. We could move to season 2, and I'll just kind of pick up where I left off.
Yeah. Continue with season 2.
In my mind, season 2 focused more around cosplaying and less around the relationship of Gojo and Marin. Not in a bad way. I did look forward to the season 1 episodes a little bit more because every episode was like building the relationship. Season 2 was a little bit of a departure from that, but it was still good. You still developed the characters. Like Marin's a model on the side. They hung out with other cosplayers and cosplay photographers. And now they're learning about photography and stuff now, and like fucking ISO levels and perspective and depth of field and that sort of shit. So Marin was like, I got to save up my camera because this is going to be sick as fuck. So then she's like working overtime as a model to make money to buy the camera. Gojo comes and visits her while she's doing the modeling and realizes, like outside of school and cosplaying and stuff, oh, she's like a really good model. And the small little developments of being able to see someone like out of the elements that you normally see them in and appreciate them for what that is. But they do more cosplay and shit. They introduce a few more characters. And yeah, they have like, I think like 3 or 4 episodes about this like group cosplay that they're doing. And it was nice. It was fun. You got to see the other characters and a little bit of what they struggle with. And then if we fast forward to the end of it, then Marin really has the realization that she likes Gojo. And she's like, I got to tell him. I can't keep going on like this where my feelings aren't known. Everything's kind of floating around. I gotta fucking lock this shit down. She has Gojo come to her apartment or whatever, and she's not able to tell him, but she does some like other stuff, and it was silly. And
I am watching fan videos of this show while you're explaining these things in the background. It looks great. The animation looks pretty insane for what it is. Man, I feel like I'd watch it and like it.
I think some parts you would think were like ridiculous, and you would just be like,
Of course.
good golly gee, chill, girl. My name's DJ Montague. I'm about to bust.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
And then they have like the most famous part of season 2 is the misunderstanding when they're at Don Quixote, which is the kind of like a department store that sells everything in Japan. She invited him over to do an all-nighter of playing the video game that they're going to cosplay. And he's in the aisle and he's like, man, if I have a sleepover, then that means I'm sleeping over at her house, and that's weird. So if I stay up all night, then I'm technically not sleeping. So it's not a sleepover and it's less weird.
That's just science.
So he's like, okay, I got to look at energy drinks. So he's looking at the fucking monsters on the shelf, but the monsters are like right next to the condom aisle. So she walks by seeing him in the aisle staring at the fucking shit. And she's like, what does he think we're going to do? Like, why is he looking at the condoms? So the entire time she thinks that he's buying condoms, when in reality, he just bought like 2 monsters and he's going to play a video game. And then you have like this big understanding where you get inside and he's like super serious and he's like, go get ready. It's time we're going to fucking do this thing. And she's like, oh dear. Oh no, I don't think I'm ready, but oh no. And then it turns out he's like, oh, I just bought energy drinks and it was funny.
They played Mario Kart all night?
No, he played like some horror visual novel game like that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it was super cute and super funny. I laughed at it, but I didn't think season 2 was as strong as season 1. I still enjoyed it, but I gave season 2 a 7 as opposed to an 8.
All right. Something that, I mean, it sounds interesting, and something maybe I watch in the future so that season 3, when it actually happens, we could watch it on the show. Yeah,
I actually think you would like it. I think the styling of a lot of the characters you would like. The animation is really, really good. I don't know if you're as sappy as me, where I just love...
Is it like Okarun and Momo levels of like, I want them to be together and be the happiest couple forever?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Great. All right. Yeah, I'd probably like it a lot.
Well, if you don't want to watch My Dress Up Darling, you can instead watch Watari-kun. No, Dick is about to collapse. So this is the first 12 episodes of this. I don't know what I was expecting when I watched this. I feel like there is more to the story, but I feel like they're taking a really long time to get there. Now, this anime is about Watari-kun, who lives with his sister, his young sister. I think she's like 6 or 7 or something. And they live with their aunt. I don't know where his fucking parents are. So they lived in a village. They had a garden. And they had a neighbor girl, Satsuki, which is the blonde one. Okay. And she would always come over and hang out. But then one day, she destroyed their garden, some mysterious reason. And Watari-kun got mad. But then she disappeared. And then he didn't see her, and now he's in high school, living with his aunt. And now Satsuki is back. And yeah, they don't really reveal why she destroyed the garden, what the fuck's going on, but she's into him because they were childhood friends or something. But then he's considered like the fucking shittiest, most unpopular kid in school, so he sucks. He's a suck guy. But then the other girl, the purple-haired girl, Ishihara, she is interested in Watari-kun as well. And then now they start a relationship there, but then Satsuki still likes Watari-kun. And now you have this weird love triangle. And then you have Glasses Guy in the back that's Ishihara's friend, but then he's too much of a bitch to make a move on anything. So he's just kind of the super serious dude in the back that helps her out, fluffer, I guess. And yeah, they have a bunch of like weird, awkward scenes, a lot of awkward interaction of relationships, kind of like a coming of age story where no one knows how to have a relationship and it's weird as fuck. And I don't know what really happened. And they didn't resolve anything in the first 12 episodes.
Okay. What? Yeah, like nothing happens. It's a much ado about nothing.
Well, it's about Watari-kun, and then he wants to know like why Satsuki messed up the garden, why Did Satsuki disappear? Kind of like a coming of age story where obviously he doesn't know how to handle relationships, but then girls are into him. Now he's like juggling like a trial girlfriend basis with Ishihara, but then he still has feelings for Satsuki, and it's just like a big relationship mess. It didn't resonate with me because there was too much unresolved shit that happened, and I guess how they went about it. Watari-kun as a character, I don't necessarily like because of how like wishy-washy he is. I'm farther along in the series now than these first 12 episodes, but I feel like the first 12 episodes had a lot to be desired because it focused on both girls. And then we kind of see some character development of Ishihara where, you know, all the boys want her, but they're just all fucking dogs and only want one thing.
It's titties.
Apparently she dated her fucking teacher. Oh no, she didn't date her teacher. Her teacher like thought he was dating her, but then she never said he wanted to date him, and like he was a weird stalker guy.
Okay.
They try to make out with Watari-kun all the time, but he pushes them off. Really weird. I understand like them being so young in these interactions and they're not going to know what to do in this situation, but also at the same time, like, I don't know why. It's like the summer Hikaru died, but they didn't explain anything. At least I feel like in the summer Hikaru died, they like left enough breadcrumbs for you to come to your own conclusions. But in this one, is it a harem? Is it a relationship anime? Is it mystery? Like, I don't know. I'm fine with like being uncomfortable, but it's a little too forced, I guess. I don't know if I can really put my finger on it, but there's something about how they're framing the relationships with the characters that doesn't sit well for me. And I was really hoping they would explain some of this like mystery. Watari-kun apparently can't remember his like childhood. So I'm like, what fucking happened? Satsuki messed up the garden and then disappeared, but then you can't remember what went on, which is, I guess, is fine because you were like 6 or something. Fine. That's okay. I mean, we are introduced to Ishihara's mom and everything, and she's kind of protective and overbearing a little bit. And she's like, I'm not a kid. Like, don't treat me like a kid. But she is a kid. It's a lot of different elements, but they're not really connecting together for me, which is why I'm having trouble feeling better about this anime.
Okay.
And they introduce another girl who's in this picture. And she just kind of came out of like left field, I feel like. I mean,
Going with the pink hair? Okay.
Umezawa. And like now they're all trying to fight for the guy, but I'm just like, I don't know why everyone's like fighting for him.
Okay. Greg, what was your score?
I didn't score it because I didn't finish it, but I would say a preliminary score for this might be like a 5.
Okay.
I feel like there's better things to watch than this. And I'm still kind of confused like what genres it falls into. But I would say if you wanted like, I guess, something with this weird harem-esque thing going on, like fucking watch My Dress Up Darling, watch 100 Girlfriends.
Yeah.
Watch almost like any other harem than this, and I feel like you would be better off.
Okay. The way you're explaining it, I know you find it weird, and so your emotion comes through, and I'm just like, okay, this sounds so strange. Onward to the next one.
The next one, and the last one, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, this is it. Gachiakuta.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, we're not talking too much about
No,
this.
we'll just talk a little bit about it. Gachiakuta, episodes 1 through 12. Now, I have heard a lot of people sing praises for Gachiakuta.
Remember, everyone listening at home, Greg fucking hates shonen, okay? All of it. He's like, this shit sucks. I hate it.
I heard that the author is female. I heard that she did a lot of interviews and had a lot of explanation to her works and stuff, and it resonated with a lot of people. I guess we'll start with the general premise of Gachiakuta. I would say it's kind of like a post-apocalyptic-esque, Blade Runner-esque, if you will, where you have the upper class, the Spherites, I believe they're called. They live on a floating island, and they just like throw their trash in the dumpster and it just shits out of the island, and everyone is like, well, don't know where that goes, but good enough for me. They're so rich that, you know, oh, my teddy bear has some stuffing coming out of it. Oh, just throw that shit away, put it in the dumpster. I'll buy you a new one. But then we have Rudo, the main character. He also lives on the sphere, but he collects garbage and he fixes it up. And even though he's on the sphere, he still lives in the slums of the sphere because there's like a nice area, then you have the slums.
Of course.
And he lives with a guy that took him in. His dad is also dead, murdered. And basically, it's a young man struggling with emotions, his anger, how to deal with certain things. To not give away too much, basically, there's a girl that he likes, but it's really hard for him to talk normally. But then some circumstances happen, and then he is cast down to the surface. And after getting cast down to the surface, we see where all the garbage goes, and we see what lies below the sphere. And now it follows Rudo on his quest to get back up to the sphere and get revenge for being wrongfully accused and being sentenced to the ground. So on the surface, I guess pun intended there too, episodes 1 through 12, I don't like stories of revenge. And I don't like characters such as Rudo. Very one-dimensional. And the fact that this is a shonen as well.
And your hatred is everlasting.
You have kid, rambunctious, delinquent, cast down, looking for revenge, but has special powers. Mm-hmm. And then he learns to use said powers, and he has a journey of growth. Even up to episode 12, I felt like it got better. The first few episodes, I was like, I don't like this at all. The art style is okay. It's not my cup of tea. I don't like the exaggerated, oversized look of the clothes. Because as you'll see, the gloves, the boots, the coats, everything is oversized.
It's very Kingdom Hearts-esque.
Yes. Yeah, that's just not my style. I'm not going to hold it against it because it's not my style, but it didn't make me want to continue watching.
That is currently the style that is popular again, Greg.
I think the colorization is interesting, right? Like on the sphere, it was like super light, whites, bright yellows. Mm-hmm. You come to the surface, everything's very dingy, low contrast, low saturation. Mm-hmm. You're showing the contrast between the sphere and the surface. Rudo's struggle to learn his powers is very hard for me to watch because of the character he is. He doesn't like accepting help. He wants to do everything on his own, but he's powerless. But he still wants to do it anyway and just fucking make mistakes, and everyone has to fucking make up for Rudo's mistakes because he's too fucking absorbed in his quest for revenge to open his eyes to the world around him. And I'm hoping that changes in the future.
I'm sure it will.
And then maybe the story will blossom into something that I actually like. But currently, in the first 12 episodes, to me, it's your run-of-the-mill, standard, generic shonen.
It is 100%.
Nothing special. Nothing groundbreaking in terms of character development or design or storytelling. I mean, animation is unique. But yeah, without delving too deep, because since we're going to talk about Gachiakuta more in the upcoming episodes.
I'm excited. I'm actually legit excited. I'm glad we collectively decided to put Gachiakuta into the winter season so I could really enjoy it. And like, from my understanding, it's right up my alley. Like,
I think so. In terms of stylization, in terms of it just being a generic trash shonen, in terms of the music, I think you're going to really like the music. I think that's going to resonate with you there. And for me, it's okay. Like, where I'm up to now in the story, I don't hate it. I think it's fun enough. I think it's very slow.
You're going to give it a 6. Well, I imagine it's going to be slow because it's a shonen. And like every other shonen coming out, it's like, yeah, this is a 300 chapter manga. Like, this is going to be long.
But like, you're basically spending like 12 minutes, half of an episode, like explaining a power. So a fight starts, they square off, and then one of the guys like does something. And then they're like, exposition for the rest of the episode. And then next episode, let's pick up where the fight went off. The other guy did something, exposition. Now let me talk about my power. And then it's like, okay, fuck. So there was like 2 episodes of you guys took one swing at each other and then talked about your powers. Like, you can have them use their powers. Have the guy stab the other guy, and then now he's like poisoned, and I can put it together in my brain that this guy uses poison. You don't have to spend 24 minutes over the course of 2 episodes to explain how the poison fucking works. It's like, I get how poison works.
Some of these characters, you know what this reminds me of? And why I think I'm going to really enjoy it is Guilty Gear. All right, I'm down. I'm excited. Greg, Thank you for taking the time to do this, by the way.
Gachiakuta gets a 5. I think it's pretty generic average. And even though the animation is good,
I'm really excited.
It probably like bumps it closer to a 6, but right now I would say it's a 5. Now, if you asked me where I currently am at in the series, I'd probably bump it to a 6. Watch Demon Slayer. Maybe watch season 1 of Bleach.
My thing with Bleach is I keep getting random shorts of Bleach from Thousand Year Blood War of people going super hard on how dope certain characters are for like the fucking 10 seconds they did something. I loved Bleach.
I did love Bleach,
and then I realized I cannot stand Thousand Year Blood War as a storyline. I think it's so fucking mishmash bullshit.
Listen to our series on Bleach 1000 Year Blood War. And as a longtime Bleach watcher and Bleach lover, you can go on the journey with me of how it rose me to who I am today, but then also broke my heart.
Yeah.
It's really sad to see like your high school crush, how you just thought the world of them. And then they grow up and they're just not very friendly. They're the ones that yell at the barista if their order's wrong.
Okay, this is going to be a great moment for everyone to learn about previous DJ Montague in the history books. I had a middle school, also high school crush on a lady. As we got older, I started DJing in my early 20s into late 30s. I was working at one of the main bars in Reno. We see each other again, and it's like that little flame of young DJ Montague's like, hey, she still looks cute. You should talk to her. So I walk up, talk to her a little bit. We hang out. She would come to the bar every now and then. And one night, she was like, hey, do you want to go home and go hang out? And I was like, oh shit, yeah, let's do that. I thought she was still kind of cool. There wasn't any red flags up to that point. And I remember we went to another bar in between. And this is an analogy to Bleach, by the way. This is all
I'm on board.
An allegory to Bleach. So we go to a bar in between. She yells at one of my friends that's a bartender. And she's like, that guy's a piece of shit. And I'm like, kind of, but he's a bartender in downtown Reno. You kind of have to be. But I get why you don't like him. But also, this is your first time really at this bar. So we get our drinks. We head out. And as we're walking back to my house, I lived downtown at this time, she turns and stops and she's like, so when are you going to get your life together? And I just kind of looked and I was like, what? What about my life isn't together? I've got a stable job. I've got a car. I make decent enough money. I've got my own place. What do you want from me? And she's like, well, when are you going to settle down and have kids? When are you going to get married? When are you going to do all the normal stuff that people do? And I was like, well, I don't want any of that. I like being me. And she's like, yeah, but you're really boring. And I was just like, okay, why did we hang out? What did you come here for? What do you expect me to want to do the same thing in this world that you've done, that everyone else is doing? And she's just like, yeah, this is what we're here for. Like, you're here to procreate. If you're not going to have a kid and progress in life and have memories, what are you even here for? And I was like, okay, we view the world differently. This was really fun hanging out with you. I think this is where we part ways. And she was just like, instantly went from we're cool to now she's offended by my answer. And just is like, you're a fucking deadbeat loser. You're a piece of shit. Nobody likes you. Everybody makes fun of you behind your back. And just starts walking away. And I was just like,
so which one of you were Bleach?
That's Bleach.
Oh.
She's Bleach.
Oh, damn.
She's like, you're stupid. This story doesn't make sense. And you're an asshole. And you don't like it because you're a dumb bitch. I'm the consumer that's like, I didn't like it because I didn't like it. Like, I didn't resonate with it. And then Bleach is like, you're an idiot. And the Bleach fandom is like, you're fucking stupid. You just don't get it. Is that a good allegory?
It was a stretch, but it's okay. It's good.
I had to up my word count for this episode. So I wanted to tell a story, Greg.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good.
This is my moral. Greg's got his own moral of the story. You don't have to be what everybody else is, friends. You don't have to be what everyone else's goals are. Be your own person and be happy with who you are, because we're all pretty awesome in our own regard. I think I'm pretty cool.
I think you're pretty cool.
Thanks.
I have things I want to say, but I'll save the stories for
No, Greg, hit it real quick.
I don't think it can be quick.
All right, don't make it quick then, Greg. Let's do it slow. Greg, we're going. Where are you gonna go?
No, it's okay. Just real quick on relationships in general. And I feel like Bleach to me was kind of like a first relationship. I didn't necessarily know what was right, what was wrong. Like when I watched it, it felt good and it was nice. But then also, there was probably red flags there that I didn't see because it was like honeymoon period, first relationship, expectations of what and how you should be in a relationship. But as you continue a relationship, you really get to see who or what that person is. It's not just how do they interact with you, how do they interact with other people, how do they interact at their job, how do they deal with stress, how do they deal with a really bad customer, how do they deal with coworkers that they view as may not be working as hard as them, that sort of thing. So it's all of those things that you get to see during a relationship that you can all apply to, do I actually really like this person or not? And I think initially with Bleach, like I was blinded a bit because it was like a first relationship. I'm like, oh yeah, this filler here. Oh yeah, you know what? No, it's good. It's good. As the man of the relationship, I'll just take it. Even though I don't like it, it's okay. Just keep feeding me filler. And then it's like, okay, let's progress the story a little bit. And it's like, that was a really good arc. Oh, that's not it? Okay. You know what? Yeah, okay, just keep doing what you're doing then. But don't worry about me, what I think is good or bad or anything like that. Just go ahead and just keep going. And then I realized that after a while that I didn't like that. Like those parts of the relationship I didn't like. I didn't like the filler. I didn't like necessarily the new characters that were introduced or the new story elements that were introduced, the new arcs. I didn't feel like they fit. I didn't feel like that they were genuine. I felt like they were forced. I felt like there was an expectation you were trying to uphold. And it was really coming through. After you realize the red flags of the relationship and you realize it's not necessarily something you want to do, then we need to really ask ourselves, is this something do I want to continue going with? Or do I feel like my time is better spent somewhere else? And that's how I feel about Bleach. And Thousand Year Blood War was kind of like oh, hey, you know what? I was curious about that crush. Maybe I'll look them up on like Facebook and see what they're doing. And that's Thousand Year Blood War. And you look up what they're doing and you're like, damn, dodge a bullet. And then that's it.
We didn't dodge a bullet, Greg. We have to watch season 4 or part 4 of the 1,000-Year Blood War.
100% I will watch it. Dude, but that's kind of how I feel about Bleach as the whole, if we're putting it in a relationship. There's a part
in the manga that I know happens. And if they do not expand on 1,000-Year Blood War part 4, it will go down in history as one of the worst fumbles in just all of history of anime.
There we go. 14 animes for you guys, reviewed as fast as I could. I understand I probably went over on a couple of them.
It's fine.
I think we did pretty good. We got like 70%.
We did all right, Greg. We did all right. Like, yeah. And if we were playing basketball, like 70% is an insane percentage. So
70% 3-pointers.
Yeah.
I'm Steph Curry.
You are Steph Curry of anime. You are, hitting 70% of your goals.
Oh, man. Okay. Well,
friends, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We really appreciate you checking in for the Anime Book Club, the wrap-up episode. Make sure you check us out on Spotify if you are not listening on Spotify right now. YouTube, the Anime Book Club. Also on OnlyFans, apparently. The Anime Book Club, Greg has started it. It's just pictures of my dress-up darling and Greg making posts about how great that show is. Check us out. Grab some shirts from IT Aesthetics. IT-Aesthetics. Use code TABC10 at checkout for 10% off your order. Order 100 shirts, get 10 free. Also, thank you to Gamersubs. Use code DJ Montague for checkout of Gamersubs. We appreciate you so much. Greg, what's the moral of today's story?
The moral, there's a lot of content out there. Lots of animes, lots of books, lots of movies, lots of TV shows. Check them out. Don't always go with the mainstream stuff. Take that path less traveled sometimes and jump into something that you may know nothing about or little about, and you will be pleasantly surprised.
I know I said it before. I'm making this runtime extra long because I miss Greg, and I love chatting with Greg about anime.
Don't worry, I'll cut this out. Shorten it up a little bit.
Why? I was giving you special appreciation, Greg.
Yeah, I don't need that because I'm a loser. I'm going to cut out any appreciation towards myself.
Okay. All right. Greg, do you have something to say to the class?
Signing off.
Do I need to make you do it again? Greg, say the goodbye thing.
Oh, that thing. Oh, okay. Goodbye.
That's not how it goes.
Goodbye.
All right. Thank you, friends, for checking out the Anime Book Club podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode.
And if you don't want to miss the next one, follow us on the socials where we announce new episodes, content, and other cool stuff. You can also check out our anime list with our rankings and follow along with what we're currently watching and what we have watched in the past.
All the links are in the description. See you in the next one. Bye!